Things are getting interesting apparently, because as you all know, Belarus is a horrible, horrible dictatorship. As you know, as you might know, as you might be aware, Belarus, ruled by Lukashenko, is being prepared as we speak to be integrated as part of Russia, permanent part of Russia. There won't be any Belarus anymore, it will just be Russia. And I am aware there has been a resistance brewing for some time now in Belarus. In fact, I know that in Poland, officers are being sort of trained by the Belarusian resistance. And we all know that the real president of Belarus had to run into exile. The wife of the presidential candidate that was arrested, she picked up the slack. She continued the campaign for him. There was like a record high turn up for the election. Everybody actually thought she would win. But then Lukashenko has rigged the election in such a blatant way, in such a really shameless way, giving himself 80% of the vote or something like that, that it sparked protests all over the country. Unfortunately, it did not lead to any change. Lukashenko remained in power. But now, apparently, we might see some shakeup. Why? Because, as it seems, the Belarusian resistance might just be preparing for a coup. Coup d'etat. Coup. The resistance in Belarus might be preparing to overthrow Lukashenko, which would be a game changer in the region. That would be pretty significant. We're gonna take a look at the political article. Belarusian exiles plot coup against Lukashenko. The group's leader said defeating Russia and Ukraine is essential to weaken Minsk's regime. A group of Belarusian dissidents say they are planning a coup against the country's authoritarian ruler Alexander Lukashenko to be executed at the right time. It would be a big change to bring Belarus into the fold of democratic countries. The partisan resistance group BIPOL, which operates from Poland, has been training officers and actively sabotaging the Kremlin in its war against Ukraine, all in preparation of a coup d'etat against Minsk's regime, one senior figure said publicly. Probably for the same reason that you say herb instead of herb in US English, at least. We have worked out a plan and will put it into effect at the right time, former Belarusian officer Alexander Azarov told Belgian media outlet VRT. According to Azarov, ensuring Russian President Vladimir Putin's defeat in Ukraine is necessary to weaken Lukashenko's regime. Without Putin, there is no Lukashenko, he said. If Ukraine can launch a successful offensive, Putin will no longer have time for Belarus. Azarov said the group has been committing acts of sabotage against Russia in efforts to assist Kyiv in the war, attacking Russian aircraft, damaging railways, and training Belarusian volunteers, fighting alongside Ukraine's forces. In February 2023, the group claimed responsibility for a drone attack that severely damaged a Russian military aircraft near Minsk. Azarov, a former Belarusian security services official, said he resigned from his job after witnessing election fraud in 2020 You know, the one when the presidential candidate, everybody was sure she would win, that finally a change would occur. Nobody, I mean, everybody expected that Lukashenko would cheat, that he would just not care. But I actually expected the fraud to be less out there. I expected him to be like, "Oh, I got, I don't know, 55%, she got 40 something, 45." It was close. Well done. I still won though. Not him 80% and damn. And the heavy-handed crackdown of the protests that followed, he fled to Ukraine and eventually to Poland, from where he leads Bipol. On February 15th, a Belarusian court convinced Azarau in absentia along with 5 other former law enforcement officers for inciting social hatred, plotting to seize power forcibly, and creating an extremist group. Azarau received the harshest sentence, 25 years in prison and a hefty fine of around $123,500. Lukashenko, who has ruled Belarus since 1994, recently confirmed he would run for president again in 2025. What a surprise. Poland also is going to have a 2025 election, by the way. A close ally of Putin, Lukashenko has stood by the Russian president, whom he considers an elder brother. Throughout his full-scale invasion of Ukraine, he has allowed Putin to station tactical nuclear weapons on its territory. Western states have condemned Belarus' involvement in the war on Ukraine, with the European Parliament calling Lukashenko an accomplice. I mean, he is an accomplice. He's the direct accomplice. And now Putin is preparing Russia to swallow up Belarus. They've already done many steps like unifying the currency, etc. At least have started moving towards that. So that is just something that you know, I'm really hoping that a coup happens sooner or later. That Belarus deserves to be free. Belarus was part of the Kiev Rush, and then it was part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It definitely deserves to be free of Russia. Definitely does. I think this is a very interesting turn of events. Oh, Bipol.